Hello, beautiful internet family. My name is Dan Davis, and I'm the creative director here at DansTube.TV, which is Australia's #1 ranked drone YouTube channel. I'm also the course creator over on the Fearless Drone Academy. If you're wondering, I know a fair bit about drones. I've been doing it for a very long time, and today I'm checking out a budget-friendly drone from Potensic. It's called the Atom SE. So first things first, looking at the actual carrying case that you get, this does remind me a lot of almost like a lunch carrying case. You know, it kind of looks like a little lunch box, but it actually is extremely spacious. There's a bunch of options, little pouches and little options to carry extra items that you need. And as you actually open it up, you get a nice little compartmentalized, don't know if that's a word, but little compartments for you to put the drone in, the controller, any extra cables, extra batteries and whatnot, and it's a really well-designed bag that keeps everything nice and safe. This is the drone here. So this is the Potensic Atom SE. It's a sub 250 gram drone, so that means it weighs under 250 grams, and that's extremely beneficial for a lot of people out there because it means that you might not have to get a license. It means that you might be able to actually fly this in locations that the heavier drones can't fly in. So it does have a folding design, which a lot of us will be used to from all of the other drone brands that have released drones in the past. I will say though, straight off the bat, the build quality on this unit is extremely high quality. Everything from the little button to indicate what the actual battery life's like, even the actual battery compartment here, everything is just really solid. Folds away nicely, it's a nice compact design, and overall really love what they've got going on here. One thing I would love to see though is a little gimbal cover here, because it does not come with a gimbal cover, although the bag does definitely keep it safe, but that's one thing that I would love to see from future versions. This video has actually been sponsored by Potensic. They sent out the drone to me to do my review, but all of my thoughts and the feedback that I'll be sharing in this video are my own thoughts. So keep that in mind. This is my own unbiased opinion. I'm not being paid to say certain things. This is everything that I do think about this drone. I think there's a lot of potential here. There's a lot of cool features, and there are definitely a few things that could be improved on. This is a 4K ready drone straight out of the box, and for that price point, you are actually getting a lot here. I'll talk about a lot of the features that you're getting, but a 4K ready drone that is built extremely well. And this is honestly a really good starting point. It's a great budget-friendly drone. It's not crazy expensive, but you are getting some relatively high quality options here, or some premium options. Considering this is a cheaper offering, you are getting following modes and you're also getting waypoints. On top of that, you're getting 4 kilometers of range and you're getting a 4K ready camera. If you are interested in checking out the Potensic Atom SE, I will have a link below. And the version that I've got here comes with 2 batteries, the drone, the controller, and the bag. And if you use the code DANSTUBE, that's DANSTUBE, you can save 30% off your purchase. I'm going to quickly jump over to the controller now because I actually love the design of the controller. There's one thing I would love to see improved in future versions, and that is the antennas here. Even though they work really well, they have a great range of motion, you can twist them slightly, you can angle them in all different directions. They do feel just a little bit flimsy. I am worried that if someone was to accidentally sit on this or put this in an awkward position, I feel like these could snap relatively easily. So that's the only thing that I would like to see with the controller itself. But besides that, I actually love the design of this controller. The little thumbsticks, they just sit under here, nice and tight underneath the controller unit itself. Everything feels great on it, all the buttons feel great. The fact that that can open up like that allows you to put in really any phone besides the really large folding phones, but then even then you might be able to get it in here. And you can also get little 3D printed, I'd imagine, attachments to put in larger devices like a tablet. But overall, controller quality is great. It's built really well. I never had any issues with it dropping out. So they're saying you're getting 4 kilometers of range. I never pushed it that far, but I will say that with the tests I did send it a fair distance away from myself to capture this yacht that was in the distance. And I had no major issues with it dropping out. There were a few times that the signal went down to about 1 bar, but I was able to get it back before it was an issue. The interface itself through the application gives you all of the relevant details, gives you a warning if you're running low on the frequency, the kind of connection that you have. So overall, no issues with it. I found the range to be great. I found the controller to be responsive, and all of the options were great. Another comment though to make is just the fact that it can be just a little bit fiddly with the controls. So again, not a major problem. I found this to actually be a really fun starting point. And when I think about the type of person to get a drone like this, you're getting really reliable range from it, you're getting decent camera quality, and you're just getting a really fun drone to fly with a bunch of different options. I think that it is great for the beginner, for the budget-friendly user out there, but I would love to see just slightly more refined controls, because I would say that as I'm putting in the inputs, it took a little bit of getting used to. There's definitely some fine movements that you can get when you're being really gentle with the inputs, but sometimes it can be a little bit jumpy with the movements. And even like the little kind of toggle wheel here, the camera can move, you know, a little bit too quick, a little bit too awkward at times. So it definitely takes a little bit of getting used to. But I found that once I got used to the controls, I was able to capture relatively smooth footage in most scenarios. The other thing to mention is the video quality. So 4K video quality is great. I'm pretty impressed with the image that you're getting from the unit. I took a few photos as well. Photos are great, videos are great. One big thing to mention though is if you're looking for that really static footage that you're used to from drone content, where the horizon's perfectly in the center, perfectly balanced, you're going to struggle to get that with this drone here, because it's actually not a 3-axis gimbal. So that means that it's not counteracting all of the movements. And what you'll notice is you get more of an FPV style. So as you turn, you'll notice that the actual camera leans with it. It doesn't actually counteract those movements. If that's the kind of effect you're looking for, this is actually really cool. It does add a unique perspective because you can get those really cool rolling shots like you would with an FPV drone. I did find the more I used it though, the more I was able to capture some more usable, stable footage. But again, it just was a little bit fiddly with the controller. For me to get that nice smooth footage, it just took a little bit of getting used to. But once I got used to it, I found that I was able to capture some pretty smooth content. And I found that even though it was a bit more of an FPV style, I actually really liked that. Because again, you know, it depends what you want this for, but if it's your first drone and you just want to get used to flying a drone, you just want something that can capture some basic videos for you, it actually does a great job. And it's a lot of fun to get that FPV perspective. The other thing to mention would be the different intelligent flight modes that you get with the drone. So it's quite a feature-rich offering here, and you're getting features that some of the pro drones, the more expensive drones, don't even have available to them. So the first one is waypoints. And I absolutely love waypoints. If you've been on the channel before, I've tested many different applications that allow you to use waypoints on your drones, but this is built into the Potensic application itself. So I found that the waypoints were really easy to set up. I was able to just tap on the screen, you know, move things around and create a pretty dynamic, easy waypoint that just worked instantly. So that's something that you're getting straight off the bat. Again, remember, you're not going to be getting the most smooth footage. Like horizon's not going to be stable all the time. You will get some of that kind of tilting effect, but again, you're getting waypoints, a very pro feature that had no issues for me. I didn't have any bugs. It didn't fail on me. It just worked perfectly out of the box. So if you're looking for a drone that is capable of capturing waypoints and using the waypoint planner, then this is really great. It's a great offering with a bunch of different features. The other thing that's really cool here is the fact that you can use follow me options. So that means that the drone can physically follow you. It's following the signal from the controller itself. So it's not drawing a box around yourself. It's not tracking a subject, but it's tracking the controller, which I find is actually probably the better way to track someone, because that means that even though I may be out of visual line of sight, I may have gone through a tunnel or underneath a tree or whatever it may be, the drone continues following me. And there's a bunch of examples in the video where I go underneath the tree and the drone is still just tracking the controller signal, so it's able to continue following me even though I'm not in sight. So again, a really awesome pro offering that not every drone has available to it, and this is in a budget-friendly offering. So you're getting waypoints, and you're also getting a follow me mode that is extremely reliable. I actually found that with the follow mode, it was more stable than when I was flying the drone. It seems to go at a relatively slow pace. You can change some of the settings, but I found that the footage was really smooth because it was only moving nice and slowly with me. So depending on how fast you're moving, if you're on a bike, if you're in a car, obviously will depend on how the drone's going to operate. But when I was just walking or when I started to pick up the pace a little bit, I found that the movements were more gentle and the footage was extremely usable. So I was quite impressed with how both the waypoints and the follow me mode worked. The other option you get, which is I guess like an intelligent flight mode, is the circle mode. And basically that literally means the drone will just turn in a circle. So it's not like an orbit where it goes around a subject, but wherever you're sitting, the drone will just yaw. They call it yawing when the drone starts turning. So the drone will just yaw and get a shot of the surrounding environment in a circle. So again, pretty usable. The footage was pretty smooth actually. I found that a lot of the intelligent flight modes were definitely usable in most scenarios. And the footage looked great. You know, it was maybe not usable in the scenario that I was in because there wasn't much for half of the scene. But if you're in an area where there's a lot going on and you can film everything in the environment and you don't want to manually do that, you do also have the option for the circle video mode. The 4K camera does have a few other options. So if you want different resolutions, different qualities, you do have those options. But this is actually a Sony 12 megapixel CMOS sensor, and it is capable of capturing both JPEG as well as RAW images. So that's really nice to have, again, on a budget-friendly drone. And you can capture 4K up to 30 frames per second. On top of that, you're getting 118 degrees of field of view, so you are getting a relatively wide field of view. The camera is great, like I said, the quality is good from it, and had no issues with the quality of the images and the videos. I found that they were usable in most scenarios. There are also 3 different flight modes available, so you have video, normal, and sport. And the thing that's really cool is in the sport mode, the max speed can actually go up to 16 meters per second in 2.8 seconds. So extremely fast. And again, for those FPV-like shots where you're kind of banking around a corner or focusing in on a subject, it can actually look really cool. Like I said earlier on, the camera system isn't a 3-axis camera system, so it means that you do get some movement, like when you're banking left and right, the actual horizon will angle up. But in terms of like the shake, they've got something called Shake Vanish, which is like a technology to ensure that it doesn't shake too much. I would say that in most situations, again, seem to work really well. There are a few situations where I could notice just a little bit of bouncing. Again, if they do a 3-axis gimbal in the future, I think it will fix all of these issues. But overall, the footage was usable in most scenarios. You didn't get too much shaking, and I was quite impressed with the camera system overall. The Atom SE is also extremely capable in all sorts of wind conditions, so it's got a level 5 wind resistance rating, which is phenomenal. You can handle pretty much any wind condition you chuck at it. I found that it was pretty windy on the days that I was flying it, and again, no issues. I wasn't concerned that it wasn't going to be able to fly back to me because again, that sports mode is extremely fast. So reliable in really any situation you put it in. And then when we talk about the battery technology here, with the unit that I've got the 2 batteries, and you get 31 minutes, that's what the quoted flight time is. You have to keep in mind that you're not going to be using all 31 minutes, because that would mean that the drone would fall out of the sky. So realistically, you're getting anywhere from 20 to 25 minutes, depending on the conditions and how you're flying it. But that's great, right? If you've got the 2 batteries, you've got about 40 minutes of flight time, which is definitely enough for most locations. For you to capture a bunch of content in a location, if you're on a holiday, if you want to film a certain scenario, or whatever it may be, 40 minutes of flight time between the 2 batteries is pretty usable. I found the batteries to be reliable and charge time was great on them, did not take long to charge them up at all. And there are actually a few scenarios where I took a portable charger with me because it's just USB-C, both the controller and the batteries are USB-C. So there are a few occasions where I just took a portable charger, charged it up on the fly, pun intended, and then just chucked it in and it was ready to go straight away. That attachment piece there, where it actually like clicks into place, I've tested other mini drones in the past and sometimes that can feel quite flimsy. I found that this actually locks in nicely. I'm very confident that it's holding its place in the actual battery compartment there. And yeah, battery technology is great, and I am getting reliably 20 to 25 minutes of flight time. The Atom SE actually also does have the downward-facing vision positioning system, so 2 little sensors there that basically let it know what's below it. So it doesn't have any obstacle avoidance, which would be phenomenal to see on a drone like this, because we do have the follow me modes, but it does have that vision positioning system just to make sure that it knows what's going on below it. And like I said, flight performance has been phenomenal on it. The enjoyment I'm getting from it is great because I am getting that really cool FPV perspective. The controller could use with a little bit of tweaking just to have a little bit more of a responsive flight, in the sense of like when I put in an input, I want it to be immediate. I think that's something they can improve in the future. But overall, I've actually been really impressed with this unit. I've tested so many budget-friendly drones in the past. A lot of them just missed the mark. I would say that this one is getting very close to being one of the better budget-friendly drones on the market. Considering you can use the code DansTube to save 30%, that makes it very affordable for a lot of people. You're getting 2 batteries, a 4K ready drone, a drone that's under 250 grams, a very reliable controller with 4 kilometers of range, a bunch of pro features like follow mode, as well as waypoints and the circle mode. So it is a feature-rich offering, a very reliable, stable flight experience. And I would say that for a lot of people, this would be a really good starting point if you want to get a drone that you're going to have a lot of fun with. So anyway, they are all of my thoughts on the Potensic Atom SE. I would love your thoughts below. Is this the perfect budget-friendly drone? Are there more options that you would like to see? Is there something you would like to see improved or tweaked about this offering? Or is it something that you're interested in picking up? If you are, check that link below. And yeah, we'll talk in the comments, and I'll talk to you in the next video. Peace.